Hey everybody, Joe Vanourney, Chair of the Geek TV. We are here at San Diego Comic-Con 2026 with Daniel Herman, the publisher of Hermes Press. We're at the Hermes Press booth 1821. Happy Comic-Con.
Thank you very much. Happy Comic-Con to you, and happy Comic-Con to everybody that's watching this. You should be here. We only have 160,000 people here.
So one of the things I love about your company is you are the official publisher of many books honoring the show Dark Shadows. And we have some new books that you just published this year.
60th anniversary.
60th anniversary. What do you think it is about Dark Shadows that's made it endure for 60 years?
Well, it's very simple. I mean, vampires used to be Bela Lugosi and Christopher Leigh, and they were bad guys, and they'd suck your blood and kill you, and you would be forever possessed by a bad guy. Now, Barnabas was not a bad guy. He was a good soul who was damned for something he didn't do that was wrong. And he's a romantic guy who happens to be a vampire. And he's, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, folks, he's the first romantic vampire who's sympathetic. I mean, you like Barnabas. So why has it endured? Because everybody copied it afterward.
The thing a lot of people say is that I used to run home from school and watch Dark Shadows. Were you one of those kids?
No, I was a little older, but I'll tell you something though about Dark Shadows and why it's also enduring is because they had very good actors. They had a lot of classic actors. They had a lot of guys that became classic television stars. They had Kathryn Scott, who's sitting behind us. They had Laura Parker, and they were on lots of things. I remember. I'll tell you a quick story. I did a lot of panels with the Dark Shadows people because I've had the property for 16 years. And I did a lot of panels with Kathryn and with Laura Parker. And Laura Parker, of course, passed away, and she was an extremely nice person. And one night I was tired and I wanted to relax. So I put an episode of Hawaii 5-0 on with Steve McGee, the real Hawaii 5-0, not the later one. And there was this woman on. I said, I know her. How can I know a woman who's on Hawaii 5-0? It was Laura Parker. She was in an episode of Hawaii 5-0. And Kathryn was in Star Trek The Next Generation. So they went on to do all kinds of things. But Dark Shadows helped define their identity as actors and actresses. And Jonathan Frid was a very good stage actor, but he essentially went back to the stage after he did Dark Shadows. But he had a presence that is, it's attractive. It's he sucks you in. And his acting and his handling of the part really sucks you in. So I mean, you have good actors, you have interesting scripts, you go backward and forward in time. It's very creative. And so that's the reason people still watch it. And what's interesting is you have new people, I mean people in their 20s and 30s, who are still getting interested in it. I mean, there's shows from that period. For instance, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., which I love, and nobody ever heard of The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I love The Man from U.N.C.L.E. As a matter of fact, I just did a book. We're doing a book next year to get off topic, and it's on the history of spies. And I dealt with David McCallum, and he signed 150 limited edition plates for that book. But we're getting off the subject. Let's talk about Dark Shadows.
What are some of the books that you've got at the booth this year?
Pardon me, folks. This is Dark Shadows More. It's a standard edition. And here's the back.
So let's hold this up here for the.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I'm doing this wrong. I'm showing it to him instead of you, instead of the folks on YouTube.
So Dark Shadows Noir. People buy this book. What's inside this wonderful book?
This book is really neat because see, I used a really complicated word, neat. First of all, I designed this book so the end papers are Collinwood. So that's kind of neat right there. But what this book has is something that it does have publicity pictures that you've seen. What it also has is original 35 millimeter film that was shot for the archives and shot while the shows were being done. Here's an example. Now, these have never been seen before. So a big portion of this book, I can't give maybe 70-80% of it, they are from the original negatives that were scanned and obviously reversed to positive film. And they've all been reproduced in this book. So this is chronological, so it runs from the beginning of the show through the end. And that is Dan Curtis. And we have a lot of pictures that you've never seen. See, these were taken on the set during rehearsals. These are publicity pictures, but there you go. These were taken.
Amazing.
Yeah, see, these were you can see we wanted you to see the lights and everything. So I mean, if you like Dark Shadows and you want to see the unknown Dark Shadows, this is the book that you're going to see it with. And it's the 60th, and we have two versions of this. Hold on for a minute. Do you have the limited, pardon me guys, do you have the limited edition of this? Can I have that over there, please? Pardon me. Sarah, can I have that? Let me have that. Now this is the limited edition of the book, and there are only 60 of these.
What's the difference between the limited edition and the standard?
The difference is that, first of all, it's got a different cover, and it's got a different case. The case has Collinwood at Night, which wraps around with no text. And it also has a signed limited edition plate. This is a surprise, I can't tell you. Signed by one of these stars that never signs anything. It's a photograph. So you get a limited edition original photograph in here, signed by somebody we can't tell you yet. And you get this delivered to your house, and there are only 60 of them. So it's kind of neat. I don't know, I think it's kind of neat. Do you guys think it's kind of neat? If you don't think it's kind of neat, just buy the regular edition. Okay.
It's awesome. So besides Dark Shadows Noir, there's a new graphic novel.
Yeah, let me show you the rest of this stuff. Come around this way. Pardon me, folks. Pardon me. Come on around here. Okay, so next we have the Curse of Dark Shadows, and this is the new expanded edition that has additional material. In addition to additional material, it also has about 30 character drawings that Jock did, which no one's ever seen, which are in here. So this book is actually way bigger than the first one. It has more material. There's also a bridge between the first part of the story and the second part of the story. And it's got a different cover, obviously. And then in addition to that, to celebrate the 60th anniversary, this is Dark Shadows number 1, the Gold Key number 1. And this is an actual simulacrum of the comic book. Now this one has the barcodes. This is the general circulation edition, and these are almost sold out completely. But there's more. We have one without the barcode on it, and there are only 100 of those. And then we have the Virgin. The reason we call it the Virgin is because it has no text, and there are only 60 of these. Now, when this book came out in 1968, it had a poster in it, and the poster was folded in every one of these books, which is why when it originally came out, it was 25 cents instead of 12 cents. And that's a lot of money. So what are you getting for your extra 13 cents? You're getting a 15 by 20 inch poster. And you know what all the boys and girls did? They took them out and they put them on the wall, and then when they got older, their moms threw them out. So very few of these exist. So we got one and we made it perfect, and it's in these books. Just like if you bought it off the stands. The difference is if you buy, this is a Comic-Con exclusive, so people are seeing this are not going to be able to get it because they're not here. But this is only at Comic-Con, there are only 60 of them. And instead of getting the folded poster, you get the unfolded one. So we have a bunch here that go with the books. So we have all kinds of neat Dark Shadows stuff. You see our display here. We have a Dark Shadows panel. So let me ask you this, I just got through talking. Do you have any questions?
Well, besides your Dark Shadows books, are there any other books that you publish that you'd like to talk about?
Wow, we could be here for a long time. We publish a wide variety of art books. We did a book with the Doris Day Foundation, which is a really great art book on Doris Day. We do The Phantom, which we have there. We do Frank Thorne's Gita and all of Frank Thorne's properties. We did if you like comic books, guys, and you bought comic books in the 60s, which you may or may not have done, and you bought Gold Key comic books or Dell comic books, they had painted covers by George Wilson. He did the Dark Shadows covers. And we have a book which we came out with last year, which is all of the, well, it's a history of George Wilson. And of course, we worked with Jim Davis on Garfield, and we worked with King Features on Popeye. Here's Popeye. This is the history of Popeye. This is a book we did with Jim Davis on Garfield. This is a book that we did on the paintings of the Beatles.
So
we have Brenda Starr. And we have lots of different properties that we do. And we do histories. There's a book on James Bond, a book on Star Trek, books on different comic artists. There's a book over there which is the history of film stills. So we do a lot of different pop culture books in addition to doing graphic novels and some comic books.
So if people aren't here at San Diego Comic-Con, they're watching this online, and they want to purchase one of your books, find out more information about the books, what's the best way they can do that?
We'd love for you to purchase our books. Please purchase our books. All you do is you go down to www.hermespress, HERMESPRESS.com. You can go on our website. We always have sales. Now let me just tell you this because it's interesting. People always say to me, why Hermes Press? Is it Herman's Press? No. I don't want to bore you. Let me tell you an interesting story. How many of you out there have seen Ray Harryhausen's Jason and the Argonauts? Okay. Some of us think that it's kind of like the Citizen Kane of fantasy movies. It's an incredible movie. Okay. So, for you that don't know the myth, Jason is one of they're three children of Aristo. Anyway, what happens is one of them gets killed, and Hera, who is the queen of the gods, tells the bad guy, you can't kill Jason, because if you do that, you kill yourself. And a time will come when a one-sandaled man will come, and no guy, that's Jason, okay. So move forward 20 years, Jason runs into the bad guy, Pelias, and he's walking with Hermes in human form. So far, are you with me? I'm not trying to bore you. And so they're walking, and Hermes is saying, why don't you ask the gods for help? And Jason says, they don't help the ones that believe in them. They definitely aren't going to help the ones that don't believe in them. So then Jason looks down, and there's a statue, and he looks at it, and he says, Hermes. Now, Hermes is in human form, and he thinks he's been discovered, and he says, yes. And Jason says, no, I meant it's the statue of the god Hermes. And then Hermes looks at him and says, Hermes, a bringer of dreams, a wanderer in the night. So when I created this company, I thought of that line, a bringer of dreams. So that's why it's Hermes Press. So I hope I didn't bore you to death, but that's why it's Hermes Press. Anything else? How am I doing so far?
Excellent. So if you're interested in any of these books, go to Hermes Press. And if you're at San Diego Comic-Con, we're here at booth 1821. Check out Cherry the Geek TV for more coverage here at San Diego Comic-Con 2026.